I'm going out and I'll see you out there.
Okay, no, wait.
Do it!
These three boys may look like any other youngsters, but they're all suffering from a life-threatening condition. Just weeks away from death, they've come to a special clinic to try to recover.
My heart was aching, it felt so heavy. I knew I was going to die soon.
I was basically already in my deathbed, and there was nothing I could do to help myself. My parents couldn't do anything, I couldn't do anything.
It's known as a girl's illness, but 1 in 10 sufferers are boys.
It's a voice that's very powerful in your head. It tells you to stop eating, and then if you don't do that, then you'll end up being fat.
Why, Dad?
These three boys are all being treated for anorexia, an illness they may never recover from.
The girls' sex.
Charlie, when it was me and George, they got us all the time. We got friggin' toilet seats.
Rhodes Farm in North London, one of only a handful of residential clinics for anorexia sufferers in the country. It treats children up to the age of 18. It's mainly filled with girls, but recently it's been taking an increasing number of boys. Warren Fossey is just 11 years old. He's been in the clinic for 7 weeks and is halfway through his recovery programme.
Well, obviously when I first came here I was a bit upset. Just felt real bad.
I
thought anorexia was like a devil because it just wants you dead in the devil's hell
and torturous.
Yeah, you feel like you may end up, you feel like hell.
So it's playing on your brain. So I draw a brain. And everything in your brain, it keeps thinking food, get lower. At the end of the day, that's the only thing which is affecting you. If you didn't have a brain, then you couldn't have anorexia, if you imagine it.
But if you don't have a brain, you're dead.
Exactly.
A few weeks ago, 15-year-olds Declan McCabe and Simon Mettin were dangerously close to death themselves and must now face up to their anorexia if they are to recover.
Because it just kills you. It makes your life a misery, and you just want to die most of the time. The Grim Reaper. And it's like also a skeleton, which is what it wants you to become.
Yeah.
You feel like you don't deserve to be in this world most of the time, because you just like, if you can't enjoy food, you can't enjoy life, and if you can't enjoy life, you might as well be dead, really.
Yeah.
There are 22 children living in the Rhodes Farm clinic. Most are referred here by their GP and funded by the NHS. Treatment costs £345 a day. 1 in 10 anorexia sufferers is male, but it's a well-kept secret. Nobody expects it to happen to boys, and they find it hard to get diagnosed.
Is it manorexia or something they were saying on the telly?
They were saying on the telly, they called it manorexia.
I find it quite sexist.
Dieting is seen as something girls do. If a boy loses weight, it's more likely to be attributed to other causes.
There's some differences between boys and girls with anorexia, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah, how it starts.
Yeah.
Because like, most guys have like an ideal model sort of thing.
Like their idol.
Yeah. And then they try to follow that, but then boys, they tend to have like an image inside their head of what they want to look like.
I want to be a bit like Bruce Lee.
He wasn't thin.
What?
He wasn't thin.
Yeah, I know.
No, he's like more muscly.
Yeah, that's what I tried to do.
Oh, right.
With that hand.
Declan McCabe was a normal teenage boy before he got anorexia, but everything changed when he was bullied about his weight at school. He was admitted to Rhodes Farm after his weight dropped to just 4 stone 10.
I started losing weight when I was 12 and went into year 8. At the time I was around about 10.5 stone, 10 stone something, and I was overweight. I got bullied by a group of year 11s, and they just picked on me for months. They'd push me around, they'd call me names, they'd laugh at me. They had to completely change the route I went around school. Then I started getting the anorexic thoughts. I was eating less and less and less every day. When I'd have my packed lunch, that went in the bin. Everything absolutely went in the bin. My nails went blue, my lips went blue, I looked really pale, my hair began to fall out. I was basically already in my deathbed, and there was nothing I could do to help myself. My parents couldn't do anything, I couldn't do anything.
Declan's parents, Mike and Dawn, are 300 miles away in Barrow-in-Furness, in Cumbria. They're also struggling to come to terms with Declan's anorexia.
We tried everything. The rants, the raves, the screams, the crying, begging and pleading. Didn't even register. And you're lying in bed thinking, you know that your son's next door in bed starving. How can this be? It's the 21st century. Your own son's in the bedroom next to you and he's starving. He's a house full of food. That's the time when I thought he died. And I went into our bedroom, didn't I? And right. My heart just stopped. I thought, oh God. And I put my hand on his face and he was stone cold. He was always cold anyway. And I thought, bloody hell, your son's not dead. But I did then. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Come on. Give us a cuddle, mate. I love you.
My mum and dad were always arguing, they were always crying. I've never seen my dad cry before, and he was crying his eyes out all the time.
By the time Declan was admitted to Rhodes Farm, doctors had given him just 8 weeks to live. At this point, the body begins to shut down. The internal organs are in danger of failing, and a child with anorexia is no longer able to help themselves. The first priority is to get some nourishment into them. At mealtimes, the children are constantly monitored to make sure they eat.
We should be nearly halfway through. We need to get a move on. Olivia, don't just put the spoon in. Take the food out. You don't need to tip the bowl up to get milk or anything.
Most children who suffer from anorexia feel very guilty when they eat. And so if we can take the control away from them, if we can take the choice away from them, and they understand that they have no choice, that they have to eat, then they can put the guilt behind them and eat and put on weight and feel better about it.
I would never eat. Came to Rhodes Farm, sat down and eat peanut butter and didn't mind it whatsoever. I liked it. Why did I like it? I don't know. Maybe it's because I was surrounded by all these people and I didn't want to make a fool of myself. And my dad said, Declan, if you don't eat like you do at home, you will be force-fed. A tube will go down your throat.
That was hot. Oh my God, you don't want this. I can't eat this. I can't eat this.
It's like charcoal.
The children at Rhodes Farm are all at different stages of their recovery. The aim here is for each child to put on 1 kilo a week. The children must help to monitor each other and prove that they're eating properly.
Declan, how did you just do that? Yeah, that's good.
It's a long road, there's no turning back. It's a long road, there's no turning back. It's a long road, there's no turning back.
It's 6 o'clock in the morning. Every Monday and Thursday, the children get up early to be weighed. This ritual controls every aspect of their lives in Rhodes Farm.
Shit.
Every child has a line which charts the progress they need to make towards their target weight. If they drop below their line, privileges are taken away.
Heck, you lost. You're still fucking on.
Although Declan has lost weight, he's still above his target line and making good progress.
Hello.
15-year-old Simon Mettin's goal today is to reach 80% of his target weight. If he achieves it, he'll be able to take part in today's outing.
And am I 80 now?
Here you are. 0.05 above 80. Yes. You did that horse riding.
I can go horse riding today.
And you're 0.45 above your line.
Simon was admitted to Rhodes Farm 4 weeks ago. His weight had tumbled to 5 stone 5 pounds.
When I was 11 at school, people started calling me heavy and chubby, just because I had chubby cheeks and things. But I wasn't really fat at all. I just thought I was going to just lose a few pounds, and then I started losing weight rapidly. And then when I got to the weight I wanted, I didn't want to stop. I was eating like 200 calories a day, and I'd do a 4-mile bike ride. I'd do an hour of karate, I'd do running, all those sorts of things. Football as well.
200 calories is the equivalent of half a sandwich. Simon was literally starving himself to death.
It's like torture, basically, because you want to eat, the good side of you wants to eat and be healthy, but the anorexia is so strong that you don't. When I was at my worst, I couldn't do anything at break time and all those sort of things, so I stayed in the library and sat down with my coat on and everything. I had no energy whatsoever, so I just couldn't move. I felt like really low. You know, I thought, because sometimes I said to my mum, I want to hang myself, blah blah. And even when I was told by the doctors, like, your body's eating itself, you're going to die if you carry on, I didn't really listen to them.
People with anorexia often feel the only thing they can control in their life is the food they eat. And it's not just about how much. The way that they eat it must also be controlled.
Initially, when children come in, they'll often look at a plate and then they'll try and eat such tiny, tiny mouthfuls. They'll cut everything up into hundreds, you know, tiny, tiny little pieces. It's this real struggle, and the longer I take, maybe they won't make me eat all of it if I look like I'm really struggling.
I'd been trying to avoid food for so long, it kind of became my enemy, so I looked at it as if it was something really, really, really terrible. And when I ate it, I just felt so guilty.
They'll squeeze muffins together, they'll squeeze things together, they'll even squeeze things into the plate and to try and get some of the what they see as fat out of it, or separating milk and cereal. They'll try and separate the nuts out in the hope that we won't make them eat that part. The other thing was putting the croissants back into the grill and grilling the top off so that the top was really burnt. Not very nice to eat, but the perception is that that doesn't have as many calories as a normal croissant.
Oh my god! How bad is yours? How ridiculous! You can't use that to eat.
Declan still hasn't managed to shake off some of his anorexic habits, even though he's supposed to be near the end of his treatment. 11-year-old Warren Fossey from Norwich is one of the youngest people in the clinic. After 6 weeks of treatment, he's accepted that he needs to eat.
I haven't had a whole breakfast now.
Warren stopped eating completely 4 months ago. He lost a quarter of his body weight and turned from a lively 11-year-old to a skeleton.
It's just very powerful, and it's a voice what's very powerful in your head. It tells you to stop eating, or it just tells you to get rid of the food. And then if you don't do that, then you'll end up being fat. And it like lets you have some food, but then you have to like go to the loo or puke it out, or just have to exercise it off.
Let's game sweet ball.
Yeah, I will.
You feel fat, and you feel like you're going to be fat, and well, you just like, I don't know, like with boys it just seems like if you eat then you won't get that, like, accomplish what people expect you to get.
For Warren, it was all about trying to be like his favourite cricketers.
Well, I think my anorexia comes from the pressure of people saying, oh, I could be a cricketer and all that. And like, I couldn't be fat or like overweight or not the right height to become a cricketer.
Like a typical 11-year-old boy, Warren can't keep still. He's burning calories all the time and finding it hard to keep to his target weight. So the quantity of food he has to eat is getting bigger and bigger.
I'm alright, it's just that sometimes you get a bit full and I can't handle most of the food. Like, you'd eat a fair good portion, but like, then you know you have to eat the rest because it's the strictly based, like how the rules are set here. I'm done.
Rhodes Farm's refeeding programme has brought the boys out of the danger zone, and physically they're returning to their normal selves. There's a host of activities, and they don't escape schoolwork. The clinic has its own classroom and teachers to make sure there's minimum disruption to studies.
Tony, how do snakes feed?
Some of the children have exams coming up. There are weekly therapy sessions for the children, both on their own and with their family. Understanding what has made them anorexic is key to getting better.
When you start losing weight and you look good, and everyone thinks you look good, you can't stop.
Yeah.
So you take it as a compliment and you've succeeded in doing it. But then you've got something in your head which says, oh, you can go a bit lower.
Yeah. Even though they called me skinny, I took it as a compliment.
Yeah, because I didn't want to be fat.
Yeah, we didn't want to be fat. And
so I like to be. When people said, oh, you're skinny, look at your neck, I thought, oh, yeah, thanks.
At least I'm not fat.
Exactly.
It's like, they say, oh, look, you look horrible.
Yeah, they're trying.
We just want to lose even more
Like,
weight.
if you
they're trying to do it.
If you ever did put on any, or you started eating or something, when people praised you, it just made you feel worse. So like,
we treat the boys in exactly the same way as the girls. They need to put on weight, they need to have some therapy. I don't think boys are trying to be thin so that they look good in their clothes and so that people look at them and say, aren't you slim? Which I think that's the reason that many girls want to be slim. But I think that they do think that to be very fit, they need to not have any body fat.
Declan, Simon and Warren's idea of therapy is scrapping with each other and playing pranks. They've formed a close bond to help them through the stresses they face.
3 musketeers, Warren, Dexy, Simone.
That's true.
But the boys are finding it tough to be surrounded by girls who they think are obsessed with calorie counting.
All they can think about is food. Food.
You try and forget it, but you can never, because someone always reminds you. Everything we eat here, I know the exact calories for what we have in every packet, every biscuit, from just hearing them speak about it.
Yeah.
Even freaking tomato ketchup, I know how much is in that.
Some of them have strange rituals, if I can say that. Like they tear it apart, they do stuff to other bits, and
Yeah, you do that to your muffin.
That's the only thing I do because I thought that it was okay.
Yeah, but that's a ritual. You do rituals. Look. One ritual, yeah, which is your muffin.
But now, I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you got busted.
No, I don't.
Simon has not been in the clinic as long as the other 2 boys. He's physically more fragile and his recovery is still in its early stages.
Shit, you there? You there?
Despite the bravado on the surface, Simon is still firmly in the grip of anorexia. He still isn't eating properly, and despite his complaints that the girls are preoccupied with calories, Simon is obsessing too.
I can't believe what these people are doing. Today we went out to go to Dee's house to have some fun, and then because we did about 2 hours of exercise, they gave us cake to replace the calories we lost. It's just like having extras, but I can't believe it. I've gone over like 400 calories today. It's just too much. If I knew, I wouldn't have gone. I mean, today I felt like I wanted to kill myself after that bloody piece of cake. It's just like too much.
Simon will need to overcome his fear of eating what he sees as too much. He's a very long way from being well enough to go home. Declan has hit his target weight this week, so he's being allowed home for a few days to start getting used to family life again.
Next touch me, we shall both jump in the jacuzzi and clothes and we'll both leave on the same day.
Alright.
That's not touching me.
Check on it.
While he's there, Declan will return to school for the first time since he got ill. A daunting prospect as bullying at school triggered his anorexia.
In Declan's case, he's changed. He's physically changed. His personality's different as well. He's much more open and much more outgoing than he was when he came. Now, he's wandering around the last day or so with a feather in his head. I've been saying today, don't go into school like that. I said, because you're going to create yourself as a target. I mean, they're going to look at you and say, what's this about? I think it's going to be difficult for him. I think there's going to be a lot of anxious feelings that he's suppressing.
It's your limousine. Yeah, your limousine. Yeah, there's a box in the back for you.
With Declan gone, the gang of 3 has been broken up. Simon and Warren have been left kicking their heels and discussing their obsessive-compulsive disorder, something many anorexics suffer from.
Well, mine's a bit of OCD to do with tidying. Like, I have to, not like, well, if something's not right, I like tell Simon to get up and do it.
And I say no. For instance, if I leave that door open, he'd close it.
Yeah, because I'm up there, so I don't have to move.
And if I do that, he'd close it.
But, well...
And the one I find funny.
Yeah.
This one.
If he does that...
If there's that much light, he'd have to do that.
Because I like my,
Even if there's that much light, he'd have to do that.
His is, like, washing his hands. Like, his OCD of washing his hands.
Yeah.
He used to wash them, like...
Loads.
10 times or something. Now he's, like, cut down to at least 4 to 3.
Before meals, that's the only time I do it.
Sometimes you do it in there. And you're brushing your teeth. You take forever to do that. Like, you have to gargle exactly 3 times.
I know I don't.
Oh, it seemed like it.
Oh, it was funny last night. I was in the upstairs lounge and she was tidying the room because she's got an OCD with that as well. And I threw the pillow on the floor and she'd run and put it back, and I threw it again and she'd run and put it back, and then I threw everything on the floor and then she hit me.
I think to develop anorexia nervosa, you need to be an obsessive-compulsive, perfectionistic sort of person. And so it isn't surprising that not only do you become perfectionistic and obsessive about your weight and your food, but about other aspects of your life as well.
Declan is on his way home for a short visit. It's a 6-hour journey back to Barrow-in-Furness in Cumbria, where his family lives. He's returning to the place where his problems began.
Yeah, I'll have my tea because I'm going out.
I'll make you in a minute, son.
Tax me, lads. Yeah. That was a laugh, wasn't it?
While Declan is at home, his parents, Dawn and Mike, will have to supervise his meals to make sure he gets the right amount of calories.
This gets stuck up on my cupboard. It just tells you, like, his breakfast has got to have 800 calories. His snack has to be 400, so his snack is at 11 o'clock in the morning. Lunch and pudding is 750 calories. And then tea time is like a sandwich, apple and a yoghurt, which comes to 700 calories. Declan's total is 2,650 calories throughout, you know, for that day.
An anorexic's relationship with food is often rather surprising.
Couldn't get him out of the kitchen. And then you'd see this on the TV, and suddenly you'd see him flip over. He's been on the cooking channels.
Really strange, you know, how they wouldn't eat food, but obsessed with it.
Yeah.
We couldn't get our heads around that, could we?
Cheesy.
Hey?
Cheesy. Cheesy cheese.
Today, Declan is going back to school for the first time in 6 months.
I'm just really looking forward to it, to see my friends, see what everyone says. There's some girls I haven't seen in ages, so see what they say.
How you feeling?
Good.
Yeah? Where are you meeting up with your friends at?
Dan's going to set off £10.
Your hair looks nice.
I'm just going to take it as it comes. That's the best thing for it. If someone says something nasty to me, well, that's them.
Hey. And what did you have today? You had apple and cinnamon crunch.
Dawn and Mike have to log the calories for each meal Declan eats and send a report back to Rhodes Farm.
600. And then 200, and that's his 800 calories for the morning. Hold on. Thanks you.
Yeah,
Have a good day, right, son. You absolutely love it.
Alright.
All right, my darling.
Okay.
Have a good one.
I'm not nervous. It's just like going back to school again. It's like it's a normal Monday. A typical normal Monday. Just try ringing you.
Declan's lucky. He's kept in contact with some of his friends who will offer him support on this potentially difficult day.
Have you got maths first today?
No, maths is second. Declan's dead excited. He just can't wait. Can't wait.
Yeah, I don't believe in myself. Well, I mean, I know he's excited, but I know that he is worrying about going to school, but it's all very bravado, isn't it? It's, oh, I'm looking forward to it and all that, but I wouldn't be fooled.
After 6 months away, a good lunch and a full day at school will be the test of how far Declan has come since anorexia took over his life. Simon is waiting to go out for the day with his dad. For the first time in 6 weeks, he'll eat a proper meal away from Rhodes Farm. This is a crucial test for Simon. If he does well, he'll be allowed home for a weekend like Declan.
I go out with my dad at 10 o'clock and we go every one until 6 o'clock, but at lunchtime we go to a restaurant and eat a meal together. I like going out with my dad because I've recently gotten really close to him now. It's a lot of fun going out with him now. Before, I never went out with my dad alone, and when I was back at home he got really cross with me for being moody and everything, but now he understands. But we sorted that out in family therapy and now I've started going out with my dad by himself a lot more.
These early outings can be as difficult for the parents as they are for the child, and it's important that expectations aren't too high. Under the rules of Rhodes Farm, Simon has to choose his own meal and eat it properly in a reasonable time.
I know that we had that at Rhodes Farm, I didn't like it. Yeah, we had that one, we didn't like that one.
The trip out is not just about eating. Simon's relationship with his family is as important for his recovery as his relationship with food.
It was fine with my dad. He was great. I thought I'd struggle a bit with the meal, but I didn't struggle at all, really. I haven't eaten pizza with him for like 2 years, really, or a dessert. And I saw him like struggling a bit with the eating, so I told him he didn't have to eat a dessert. He shouldn't like force it because I'm eating one, and it was okay.
Bye, Daddy. See you.
Back in Barrow-in-Furness, Dawn and Mike are anxious for news of how Declan's first day at school has gone.
I wouldn't settle until somebody said he's got lunch today.
Exactly.
I wouldn't trust Declan.
But the school are going to be ringing us, just giving us an update on how Declan's day did go at school, which I think is absolutely great. Telling us he's at his packed lunch, how school went for him as a whole, what the teachers think of him, and then they're going to ring me, which I think is absolutely great, absolutely great. So then it'll settle me and Mike down for when he goes back on Tuesday.
It doesn't feel any different, to tell you the truth. It just feels normal. There's nothing different about it. Yeah, I have bigger packed lunch than I've ever had, and I get stuffed after it, and when I'm going around I feel a bit sick and all. But at the end of the day, it's how I used to be, and I'm just getting on with my life, how it was before I got ill.
Hi mate, how'd it go?
My gosh, you're like a rat.
Right mate, why did you ring? Oh, I'm on credit. Why don't you just use the school phone?
Declan's had a successful day at school. His teachers have reported back that he did well in lessons and ate his packed lunch.
So I have to go with it.
Right.
But how's it been?
Normal.
Normal? Yeah. Great, that's what we want.
Our lessons, normal. Good to be back.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he just come back as a 15-year-old, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was normal.
Tuesday the 8th.
At least he hasn't had a bad day at school. He didn't come home and said, I can't go back, I can't go back. He wasn't panicking.
And he's at his lunch.
Yeah, that's a big thing, yeah.
Big thing, big thing he has at his lunch.
He's done his first day back at school, everything went fine, and he's okay for going back tomorrow. So he is on the road, you know, that's his first step on a journey, so...
You've done really well, son. Dead proud of you, love. Eh?
Treatment at Rhodes Farm tends to last between 3 and 6 months. The time for Declan and Warren to leave is drawing nearer, and they're demob happy.
Get him.
Some
are very keen to get home and think they're just going to walk it, but in general they're really nervous, and I think they want to get away from the way things are here, but they know that at home somebody else is going to take over, so it's like transferring all the control to mum and dad, who they don't actually 100% trust.
It's a crucial weighing day for Declan and Warren. As they get nearer to leaving Rhodes Farm, the importance of keeping their weight on target is greater than ever. Four more successful weighings and they'll go home for good. But if they're as little as 100 grams under their target weight, they won't be allowed to leave.
Did you lose them?
Come on, Charlie.
Declan and Warren have both lost weight. Even so, Declan is still above his target line, but Warren has been ill recently and has lost nearly half a kilo. It's put his chances of leaving next week in jeopardy. The staff are going to raise his calorie intake even higher, which means he'll have even more food to eat.
He's gone back up to 3,250, which is quite a lot for him, and he is struggling a little bit to eat that. As you've seen this morning, he's a bit sort of tearful, and it's just, I think it's just getting anxious about the whole thing, and it's all a bit sort of stressful for him.
Have you had curls again? Oh, dude. It'd be boring without you.
Could be a friend's phone call.
Yeah, but that's nothing.
And I was telling him how many days he's got, and how many hours, and how many minutes, and
how many seconds. It's like 100,000 hours or something.
Even in the closely monitored confines of Rhodes Farm, the boys are still struggling to keep to their targets. And when they leave, the responsibility of calorie control will fall to their parents. It's a delicate balance of trust. And as Dawn and Mike arrive to take Declan home for the weekend, he's worried that they won't be up to the job.
It's miserable, because he misses going out with you, so.
With each visit home, Declan has been gaining weight more rapidly than his plan, and it's making him anxious.
Don't, Declan, come on. He's put on a little bit more weight than he should have, hasn't he, Mike?
I think it's a couple of things. One, like you were saying just then, every time we come home he's consistently gained, and we're only talking 0.1 of a kilogram, or indeed the last one was 0.85 of a kilogram.
Nothing, is it?
And they said that's acceptable. Everything we're doing is as we should be. But Declan seemed to feel that we didn't have as much control as we were saying we had in the kitchen. So therefore he felt, if I go home another weekend, I'm going to gain even more weight.
Maybe he thinks the nurses are better in the kitchen than we are.
Which obviously they are, but he has to at some point relinquish that and start trusting us.
There's Simon there, did he know? But that's home life, and Declan has to know he's got to get back to it.
It's a reality check. He's got to face it at some point. He can't stay here forever.
The long trips down to Rhodes Farm are taking their toll on Mike and Dawn. They have to take time off work, and it's put them under pressure financially.
It's not going to be an enjoyable trip home, because you can feel it now seeping through his pores.
Yeah, it's not nice when it's like this. You know you're going to have a 6-hour train ride with virtually no conversation.
Yeah,
whatever you do, it just snaps off at you. Yeah, no, yeah.
After 10 weeks of steady weight gain, Simon has earned enough trust to be allowed home for a weekend of freedom.
I'm going in about 10 minutes. I don't know who's picking me up, but I'm leaving now. It'll be nice to see everyone. Yeah, let's go.
What goes now?
At home in Cheshunt, Hertfordshire, Simon's quickly getting back to normal life. But freedom from the watchful eyes at Rhodes Farm brings temptation to over-exercise.
I do karate. I've been doing it for like 6 years. And I'm going to have one of the first lessons I've had in ages.
As well as controlling calorie intake, Simon's parents need to restrict the number of calories he burns.
Funny enough, it was the first thing he said about coming home this weekend. He wants to go to karate. So I said, that's fine, but it's like Rhodes Farm said to me, if he does karate for an hour, that's all he's going to do.
Okay, as long as he's doing something he's been enjoying doing.
Yeah.
Back. Bring the tip.
After karate, Simon has insisted on getting a pre-packed calorie-counted sandwich from the supermarket for lunch.
Hey, can you get me a fizzy water, please?
He's meant to be eating what the rest of the family eat, but he's worried about how many calories he's getting. His family are just happy he's eating.
So how many calories did you have there? How many did you have? 700. Okay, what about the sandwich?
500. And the fruit.
And the fruit, okay. Well done.
After exerting himself at karate, Simon is restricted to being an armchair sportsman for the rest of the weekend. There are some parts of family life that are easier to control than others.
The meal tonight, I'm going to have to divide it by 5 and then hopefully serve up enough calories. But I'll give it a go, that's all I can do really.
Dad, can we come to McDonald's?
It's a big adjustment to have to calculate the number of calories in each meal, but it's essential if Simon is to maintain his progress. A week later, and Declan and Warren's final day at Rhodes Farm has arrived.
Time. 7 o'clock. Really? Okay.
As a special treat, all the boys slept in the same room last night, the last chance to play some pranks.
It's going to be quiet around here. Really quiet. I'm going to miss both my mates at the end here. I will keep in contact, but I can see them every day. So, it's quite weird.
Declan's parents have made the 6-hour journey from Barrow for what they hope is the last time.
I feel excited that he's coming home, but at the same time, a little bit nervous. People just think he's going to come home, oh, he'll be over and done with soon, he'll be home soon, no more travelling. That's not what it's about.
It isn't a case of, that's it, he's all fixed, just go home and it's there and it's in the background and it's just waiting for an opportunity to step back into the house.
Well, yeah, I want this part of my life over and done with. I want it all done as quick as I can, because I've missed nearly 3 years of my life. I was just worrying about food for quite a long time, and I just want my life back on track.
The hard work starts once he gets home, and we know it's going to be a long slog, don't we?
Warren's parents have already arrived. It's a big day for them too.
I'm just so excited, like a little kid. It just feels so... I've got butterflies, I must admit, just a bit nervous, but I can't wait.
Nervous,
can't wait, yeah.
Worried?
Yeah,
Definitely worried.
It's a bit scary.
I can't wait. Well, now I know that I can like cope, because I've coped through being here for 12 weeks. Yeah. It has been hard times though, like when getting upset and all that, but it's been worth it.
Before they leave, the families get given advice from the head nurse, Tina Fisher, about the regime they need to put in place once they get home.
We offer as much help as you need. Okay? When you weigh him, like it says here, it's before he's had his breakfast or drunk anything in the morning, as soon as he gets up, and we obviously give you some advice about the calories if you need it.
Are you leaving it? Declan, is it something we fed?
It is absolutely vital when the children leave here that the parents are cooperating with us, that they're working with us to monitor their food intake. The parents who are the best at monitoring and at supporting their children when they leave here are the ones whose children succeed in the long run.
Touch it, I know I said. Alright.
For the mums too, it's an emotional moment. Armed with their official scales for the weekly weighings ahead, the families are finally reunited and full of hope.
See you now, take care. Bye. Well, it was a really very long leaving. It's like the longest leaving time I've ever seen because they're like really popular with everyone, and it was a bit sad, you know, because they're like my best friends here.
Declan's return to home life is not going to be easy. He's left behind the friends who understand his relationship with food, and now he must learn to trust his parents in the kitchen. To add to the pressure, tomorrow Declan must take a GCSE exam at school. His first evening at home will be spent revising.
Just come back from Rhodes Farm. Just want to spend some time with myself, but no. Friggin' GCSE exams are already here. Wish I wasn't even back now. Should stay at Rhodes Farm now. Coming home has just stressed me out.
Removed from the support of Rhodes Farm, Declan must learn to cope with the stresses he faces in his life.
Basically, you make really good friends there. Everyone's had anorexia, everyone understands each other, what we've been through. And like, you live with them basically 24/7. You basically see people grow up, change, shape and everything. So you kind of feel like related to them in many ways.
At Rhodes Farm, Simon is now top dog, and his newfound status seems to be having a positive effect.
At the moment I feel fine. I know I'm nearly better. I haven't been below my line once, but the problem is I've been too far above my line. For some reason I'm a lot more happier, I'm a lot more crazier. I'm being crazy, like annoying people just makes me laugh a lot. I'm laughing so much.
In Norwich, Warren Fossey is back at school and adjusting to normal life again.
It's good. It's better than being at Rhodes Farm. Not there.
Warren? Warren? Yeah, this is like, get him. Cuckoo!
Just to be with your family and to like have your own room back and like just be in the same house. And I've got my kitten and all that, so that's good. Just be a normal kid like I was before.
What's the scratch your face? When we picked him up, I just couldn't stop beaming. I was just like, little butterflies in my stomach, and it's like a little kid at a birthday party. I think, yeah, you know, and it is lovely. It is just nice to have him home and taking him to cricket and doing normal things. It is lovely.
Easy on him.
We've got to stink everyone out.
Warren is successfully managing to maintain his weight above target.
The way that he is, you know, he's getting better, you know, it shows that obviously he's taken a fair bit on board, I think.
Yeah, the way he says it's just food, isn't it? That's
Yeah.
all, yeah, it's just food.
Yeah.
No, I need food, that's it. I like food and that's it.
Any homework, Bill? Have you got any homework, Warren?
Ha.
You do it, don't you, in a little while? Yeah, maybe drinking that. You are going to do it.
He's grown up a bit, and obviously he's probably seen a lot of things that, you know, that a little lad of his age shouldn't really have had to deal with. So he's, you know, you worry a little bit about him, but he seems to be fine.
Warren is back playing cricket, the source of his problems with over-exercising in the past. But this time round he seems to have a more healthy attitude to the game.
I had
have been playing cricket and stuff, and I've been back to like how I was before, like quite good and all that. I've been playing a few games, but I haven't been playing my dad's league. And he says it's good to hear like that I don't actually want to play cricket all the time. It's like when I was ill, like cricket was like the whole thing. So I'll be fine.
Declan has only been back in Barrow for a week, but already there's been a setback.
Well, Monday I got up and got weighed, and I lost kilo point something. Yeah, kilo point 1, and now below target. I'm like 49.8. And if I don't gain 0.2, I have to go back to Rhodes Farm.
I heard Mike say 49.8 kilograms, and I thought, hold on a minute. On Thursday it was 50 point something, and I thought, oh, I don't believe this. Do not believe this.
And definitely just sort of shrugged and went into his bed, and I just turned and looked at Dawn, and she saw my face and I saw hers, and all week both of us must have been thinking, Christ, he's lost.
He's lost. What do we do now? What do we do now? But he's been eating. He's been eating. He's been doing everything. He's not been hiding any food. You know, and I thought, I'm a failure. What's going on? And I thought, he's not been. All I kept thinking about was, when I came downstairs, was, well, he's been eating.
Hey up, mate. Got a sweat on.
I think he's been over-exercising. That's me. Mike's asked him, and Declan's put his hand on his heart and said, no, Dad, I haven't been over-exercising, but I know he's my son. I don't believe him. And I just said to Mike, he's not pulling the wool over my eyes. I really, really don't believe him.
If he still stays below line, back to the Russian front, he's back to Rhodes Farm, and
that'd be fine.
Well, not say it wouldn't bother me. I would do it without hesitation.
I'm not missing any more of school. I'm not missing any more time apart from my friends whatsoever. I've got a right, and my right is to be back here. I can put the weight on if I want.
Declan has been allowed one last chance. He's being weighed this morning to see if he's managed to gain enough weight to get above his target.
Declan, are you awake? Right, he's waiting.
We'll just do it in the flat.
Before we shut the door, son.
He only needs to gain 200 grams to get back to his target weight.
You're maintaining.
I'm not going back to Rhodes Farm because I'm not missing Friday and Saturday.
What's it put on there?
Declan has not managed to gain any weight. He's still 0.2 of a kilogram below his target.
Well, we've had the ring roads down the back says, you know.
Oh, Ring Rhodes Farm.
Everything will be fine, Declan. You know, the back say, you might say carry on as you're doing, they might tell you to go back.
Your calories would go back up again, that's all.
Yeah?
Right?
Declan.
Right.
Yeah?
Let's stop him kicking off every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Declan wants to maintain, i.e. stay at 49.8. Now the rules are he's below target, zip back to the Russian front. But if I can try and sort of plead his case and just say that he's maintained, he's stayed at the same weight, then maybe a further increase. No, I don't know.
See what they say, mate, when you ring up here.
While Declan goes to school, his father has the task of ringing Rhodes Farm to find out Declan's fate.
Yeah. No. Raised calories to 2300 and he's 49.8. Bring him back.
After only 8 days at home, Declan is being sent back to Rhodes Farm. He'll have to stay there until his weight is back on target. In Cheshunt, Simon is facing his final test before he leaves Rhodes Farm for good. He's going back to school for the first time in 5 months. It's a test for his mum, Faye, as well.
Sorry? No, I'm just doing colour. Wait, no. Here, your collar's not right. Good. And your tie's not right. He's not said more than 2 words to me since he's been home.
apart from what's for dinner. And then he complained because it was mashed potatoes. And I said, well, I'm sorry, but it's mashed potatoes. He said, well, can you go and get some chips? I said, well, no. This is the family. And he's just going to have to conform. Because, I mean, in theory, he's coming home next month. And I'm not going to be controlled by Simon, which is what he's still trying to do.
If Simon can't learn to throw off his controlling, anorexic behaviour, his departure from Rhodes Farm will be delayed. But his parents are worried that when he does come home, Simon will always need to be obsessed with counting calories.
He has to have certain calories a day. No more, no less. I don't mind if he doesn't want to eat between the meals and everything, as long as he gets the enough calories within a day.
But the point I'm trying to make is when he comes home in July,
yeah,
we can't be counting calories
we will
day
be.
after day. Yeah,
we will be.
Up to a point.
Not up to a point.
No, we can't. And we can't control him when he goes to school.
We can't. He has to learn.
Well, no, we didn't control him before when he didn't eat anything at school.
It's a different scenario now. He knows why he has to control it now. He has to report and write it down, whatever he's eating.
Yeah, but who's going to control him at school?
Himself.
Everyone told me I look a lot better. And they said to me it's like nice for me to be back, and when am I coming back next, and stuff like that.
4 weeks later, and Simon has proved that he's ready to leave.
Really nervous, bearing in mind how I've been behaving at the weekends and everything. But I think it's just an adolescent. Can we go now?
Have you packed? Well, how can we go then?
When I first came in, the regime was like a load of pants to me. I thought, oh my god, it's horrible, I hate it. And then I slowly, gradually learned that it's the best thing for me. I was being controlled by the thing in my head, and now I look back at it, it was a bit crazy. I feel better now. The anorexia is like done and dusted.
After 5 months away from home, Simon has acquired a certain amount of baggage.
What else?
You've got more?
Oh, Simon!
You've got those 2 shoes here.
Simon, guess who's walking home?
You are. I'll drive.
Yeah.
Daniel!
Bye. Bye.
When I was a young boy.
We don't keep the children here until they're mentally well. We keep them here until they're physically well. I prefer the children to be back at home with their parents and their friends so that the rest of their treatment can continue locally.
Now that they're out of Rhodes Farm, Declan, Simon and Warren are all managing to keep their weight at a safe and healthy level. Their struggle to throw off anorexia is by no means over. 1 in 5 sufferers never recover. But the boys have learned a lot about themselves and are determined to make it.
I've seen a couple of pictures on the way I used to look when I was at my worst, and I can't stand it, it's horrible. It's got the hair, but it isn't me. It's a completely different person and looks completely different. The person now is me. And I've accepted it, and that's the way it has to be. Those pictures now have long gone, I try not to look back at it, and when I look back at it, I'm like, what the hell? And it's something I don't want to happen again. I'm just gonna eat. I know it's hard to say for some people, but at the end of the day, if you want to get your life back on track, that's the only thing you can do.
When I was in Rhodes Farm, I missed my mum and dad and brother. They made me. My mum says, as long as you're eating, you won't go back, so I haven't got nothing to worry about.
I don't feel stressed about eating at all, really, because I've learnt now that it's just something to keep you alive, and you should enjoy it, really.